Today on the channel, we take a trip to the Savage Land, but first, we got to make a stop at Target for the Target exclusive, Professor X.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Marvel Legends unboxing and review. And today we're back out with another X-Men character, this time with the throwback Toy Biz style Target exclusive, Professor X. But for all your Professor X needs, Target. But for everything else under the sun, hit up DJC Collectibles. Use discount code ADOFDJC to save 8% off your entire order. Gotta get a deal out there. And Professor X back in the saddle again, this time without his chair. And of course, if you guys, or maybe just me, I'll say if I ever think of the Savage Land and Professor X, I always go back to the X-Men animated series. You could almost mix this in with that shelf if you really wanted to. But of course, quite the story arc with Professor X, Magneto going to the Savage Land, seeing Kazar, seeing Sauron. Oh, watch out for that guy. Of course, definitely quite the story arc from the X-Men animated series back in the past, and that's what I always think of when I see this version of Professor X. And a lot of people say, why is he not in his wheelchair? Well, there was something about the Savage Land where he could walk. I can't remember the whole thing. Whereas Magneto using his powers, it's been a long time for sure. But I'll never forget those two on that journey through the Savage Land. It would be cool to have the Magneto to go with this one eventually. We did get Kazar, of course, the Build-A-Figure last year. We've got Sauron in the past. We've got a few of the mutants, the evil ones too. Wouldn't mind having everybody from that story arc eventually. We'll see what happens. But one thing that's going to happen, we know for sure, is how we're going to do this unboxing. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. We'll do comparisons later on in this very video. I just happened to go to my local Target just on a normal toy hunt, and there was one of these just chilling on the peg, and I wrote it up, or I took it to the checkout and checked out just fine. I didn't have any issues, didn't register lock me or anything like that. And I don't know if I was just out of sight, out of mind, but I didn't even realize this was shipping yet. I don't know. The more you know, I guess. But be on the lookout at your Target, I guess is what I'll say. But beautiful packaging right here. Reminds me of my childhood. I'll never forget the first time I saw the original Toy Biz line with this style packaging way back when. I about crumpled to dust right there in that Toys R Us aisle. Oh my gosh, I had to get them all. And that's a wild story in itself. But very, very cool packaging design. Absolutely love this. Would love it if all the Marvel Legends came on throwback packaging. I would be all in on that. I am a loose collector though, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Professor X looking like he's getting ready to go to work somewhere. Of course, got that kind of worker's man suit going there. Two heads on this one, always nice to see. A couple extra accessories as well. Looking very cool. Up in the corner, you got Rogue, Gambit, Storm, Professor X, Wolverine. Maybe a hint to some things coming in the future, maybe. 4 and up on this one. Safari suit. Always going on a safari. Oh my gosh, we're going on a lion hunt. Professor X, Savage Land down there. Hasbro on the back. You got a glamour shot. Of course, you do got a little bit of blurb there. Let's see what it says about the good professor. In the treacherous jungles of a hidden Antarctic valley, Charles Xavier finds himself without his powers alongside Magneto amidst a slew of prehistoric creatures. And who knows what's going on down there in Antarctica. Antarctica, a wild place, as we do know. And I love my cryptids. I love my conspiracies. Love my Jesse Ventura. Love my Todd McFarlane's on the couches. But I always love reading about Antarctica because most people have never been there. I guess 99.9% of the population will never go there. But there's all these stories. There's amazing monsters. There's pyramids down there. There's like an ice wall. There's a whole nother galaxy or world, I guess, more like it, on the opposite side. And there's a certain area where prehistoric creatures run free. And it's the land time forgot. It's the land of the lost, like back in the day. So I always love that kind of stuff. It just plays with your imagination. Not sure any of it's going to be real, but it's fun to pretend, fun to think about that. And this is where I first kind of heard of that kind of idea via the X-Men animated series. Obviously being a little kid and, you know, they go down to Antarctica or whatever. Long story short there. But I always thought that was really cool. And still to this day, I love hearing stories about Antarctica and what really goes on down there and fun stuff like that. But enough jibber jabber. Let's get the good professor out of the package. Love the carding on these. Very sturdy, very hard to get out of there. Great for you men-on card collectors. There's no doubt with this one. But we're getting the old professor out of the package just like so, and up high. See you later, goodbye. I wonder if anybody's ever played a basketball game in Antarctica. I'm sure they have. I know Metallica has performed in Antarctica. See you later, right off the screen, Spider-Man style. Metallica performed down there one time, so that was pretty cool. Professor X, Plastic Prison. Not a ton of stuff with this one here, but cool enough. I'm always here for another Xavier figure. I'm going to pop that one out. There it is, off to the races, up high. See you later, like a young Dominique Wilkins. Yes, Dominique, we're here for that. Professor X, we'll get to him in a second. We'll get to the head. Extra hands, he's got 2 fists of Savage Land Fury. If you ever go to the Savage Land, you better be able to use those fists, because people are coming to get you, that's for sure. He does got 2 trigger fingers. For what? I don't know what he's doing with these trigger fingers. I don't know what he's up to here. I don't know. Where's Moira McTaggart when you need her, you know? Am I right? Am I right? We do got the old one of those hands going on there, so he's ready to shoot around somebody, or maybe he's going to do something like this, maybe, but I like to think of him saying, hey, shooter. I like to think of Professor X doing that, just working the Antarctic Circle, working the Savage Land. Oh, hey, Sauron. Like that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Let's dive into Professor X right here. You got a very stereotypical Professor X head here, like a young Mr. Clean, ready to clean up your house, but he's got those wild eyebrows. Those are some wild eyebrows on him. Looks like he could use a little bit of a tan, awfully pale white. Almost looks like he's got lipstick on, got those blue eyes, 2 ears, nose, and a mouth. Playing all those Xavier hits. I'm going to definitely know who this is if somebody handed me this head. And the eyebrows is the dead giveaway, of course. But the second head here, it's not actually a second head. It's the Cerebro helmet is what it is. Of course, fits right over the head. He's ready to go. He's ready to take on the world. He's ready to communicate with some things is what he's ready to do. And I believe this is reuse. We even got the hole in the back that I think connected to something once upon a time. I could be wrong on that, but cool enough. Of course, Professor X always wearing helmets like this, you know, trying to communicate. You got Sauron he's fighting with mentally and things. A nice feature, a nice add-on, and one of those things you could use if you're a customizer probably along the way as well. But now diving into Professor X, and like I said, he's got his working man suit on here. Looks like he's going to work at the tire factory or some blue-collar job, some manly man job. He's getting ready to go work there. Maybe he's going to work on a bread line. Who knows what he's up to, but looks good in the janitor kind of jumpsuit going on. Of course, always representing the X-Men right off to the side. Get the little X-Men logo on the side there. 2 pockets in the front. Almost looks like Western wear right here, I would almost say. Todd McFarlane, what do you think about this collar over here? Not high enough for you? I agree. It would be cool if it was pulled up, but it is what it is. But you just got, I'm going to say these are snaps, and that's a true Western wear. Sometimes you get Western wear that comes with the regular buttons. You know those are cheap quality. I got a couple of them in my collection. You can't turn down an Amazon flash sale for $10 for a Western shirt. You're just like, I wish it had the pearl snaps. This one seems to have the pearl snaps. So shout out to Xavier, very fashion forward here. Got the belt there, got a little red in the belt going on, a little green gloves. Unfortunately, couldn't match his gloves to the rest of his outfit. You win some, you lose some, I guess. Baggy pants down here as well, especially in the legs. I guess a size or 2 big for him. Got some working man's boots here ready to go along the way. But looking good. Very, very plain Jane. One of those great bodies, though, you could really customize if you want to. Throw a different head on here. You got a mindless worker. You got something. A lot of customizing opportunities with this one. If it does go to deep clearance one day, I can see some customizers jumping in on this here. Arms all the way around on this one. Bicep cut. Double jointed pinless elbows. And this is one of the ones like the Demuro. We've had like, what was it, an AIM soldier. We've had this body a time or two. The elbow on this one is absolutely atrocious. I hate the elbows on this. I get it, it's an action figure, but it takes my eyes out of things. Now, I love the pinless joints. You know me, I love pinless. Not you, Todd. I know you don't like pinless, Star. You like the pin joints. You like a pin. You like to be sitting on a pin, I think, over there. But I like the pinless joints, but this looks really, really ugly. Just the way the suit is, the bagginess of it. We've seen that before, unfortunately. Not a huge fan of that, of course. Now, the hands removable, back and forth, side to side if need be. The wrist bracer is removable that goes with the glove. Be careful when you're switching out. You could lose that one. The carpet monster might get to eat off that. Head back, forth, side to side, up and down. Ab crunch in there, plus traditional waist. How about that? Big old Professor X splits. A gymnast once in a lifetime, of course. Legs do go up. Thigh cut. Double jointed pin knees, or pinless knees, easy for me to say. But once again, very unnatural looking right there, as I've said before with the elbows. Got the same kind of thing just with this suit. Just the way it's going to be. Boot cut, ankles, back, forth, side to side, up and down. The usual Legends articulation, a very cool moment in time Professor X right here. If you were a fan of the animated series back in the day or a fan of the Savage Land, this is going to be for you. But I got to think most people that like Professor X, most people that want a Professor X figure, Probably going to want the one that is in the hover chair, of course, or maybe the regular wheelchair. I get that. That's the most iconic look, and that's why this one is really good. It is very moment in time in the X-Men universe, so it is a very good candidate for a store exclusive like this one is, of course, at Target. And of course, he does fit on a Mattel ringside stand. Make sure you get the Mattel stands for your Marvel Legends, but he does fit right there, looking very good. Old Charles Xavier, Professor X, but we're not done. We do got the iconic one, the more traditional style. I think 99% of the people say, describe Professor X, they're probably going to this, I would have to imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the one to get, but this one is very cool as well. And I mentioned Sauron, a favorite of mine right here. Possibly my favorite Build-A-Figure. I should do a top 5 or top 10 favorite Marvel Legend Build-A-Figures one of these days. Absolutely love this one. Wouldn't be shocked to see this guy get an update one of these days here, but man, a fabulous, fabulous one. Never forget how creepy he was in the animated series, and him like reading Charles' mind. They're going back and forth. He's shooting those little like bullet things out. Amazing, amazing story arc. Go back, watch it. I think it's on Disney Plus still. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. But there it is. Sauron and Professor X ×2. What's your guys' thoughts on that one? Pick up for you, pass, long game, no game. Gonna hope for a big clearance game. Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. Don't forget my brand new book. Somebody's got to plug it. If I don't plug it, who's gonna? It is the brand new book, the original San Francisco Toy Maker's Guide to ECW Figure Toy Line by yours truly. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble as we speak. Soft cover, hardcover, pick your poison on that. And if you want an autographed copy from me, I do have a special limited edition bookmark that'll come with it. And of course, a sticker while supplies last of The Kyle Peterson Show, my brand new podcast every single Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, as well as the video cast on YouTube. Check it out. Check out The Kyle Peterson Show with new episodes every single Tuesday. Rate, review, all that fun stuff everybody tells you to do. Appreciate all the support on the channel the last 5 years here, the book, YouTube, you name it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support over on Patreon for early access to everything, including the podcast, your one-stop shop over there. Appreciate the support on that as well. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, as well as TikTok. So for Professor X, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?